Welcome back. Now, in this section, we are going to turn to the other ensemble. So, we started with microcanonical ensemble. We said energy is being constant there, simple thing to do, and we let the temperature drift and pressure drift. But in the canonical ensemble, we said we can do a lot of different kinds of physical situations like phase transition by keeping temperature constant. So, we can increase the temperature, decrease the temperature, we can see melting transition, we can see transition where we solidify and come back to crystalline phase. But we also looked at a very interesting phenomena of wetting, where we had a solid surface and we had another liquid droplet on it and see if the droplet can spread. And so, that was the VMDL simulation that we did earlier, and that was okay to do with the temperature constant and allowing the liquid droplet to change its shape according to the constant volume. So, it is still in a box, but you are allowing molecules to move anywhere else while you are creating a surface of argon atoms at the bottom. And then you saw that by changing the mass of the atoms, we were able to reverse this situation of the wetting. So, now we are going to go into another situation where while we keep the temperature constant, we are also going to change the pressure constant, because earlier in this temperature canonical ensemble, as you change the temperature, you saw the pressure was changing and fluctuating. Now, we want to keep the pressure constant. So, for that we have to go to isobaric ensemble. We already discussed in a very brief way the Parinal-Rahman simulation, where again you use Lagrangian, but you are now looking at the pressure virial, and that we are changing the pressure virial in terms of the sides of the box. So, the box, the x, y and z side of the boxes, now they are a variable, they become a tensor. So, with that tensor, we are able to change the breadth, width and the length of the box as it feels the pressure coming from the both potential energy configuration as well as the kinetic energy of the system. So, we can readjust the box. So, now we want to look at how we can use that to do the property calculation, specifically the changes in the structural property. So, now let us look at the formulation. To generalize MD, we follow similar procedure as for the thermostat for the constant pressure. The size of the box is coupled to the internal pressure. So, if you look at this green box is a smaller box as compared to the lighter blue box out there, lighter green box. So, this is the original box. When you put the pressure, you can make it smaller. You can adjust the density, number density, and change the volume of the system that we have seen earlier. But now, you also want to change shape in different directions, so that you can feel the shear force, you can feel the uniaxial pressure or biaxial pressure, and those are different situations represented by these crooked or boxes that change shape. So, in this case, volume is coupled to the virial pressure. So, we are going to now not make volume as a constant, but we are going to connect it with the virial pressure. So, as the pressure increases or decreases, the volume of the cell can change, and then we can calculate the pressure and the stress and strain as the property, which we will look in detail later. So, if you look at P and 1 over 3 omega, which is the volume, over 2 k minus summation I less than j, this is the pair potential d phi over dr. So, this is the kinetic energy minus this is the term which is coming out of the potential energy. So, if you look at this pair potential energy and this is kinetic energy, and that is the if you do the difference of the two, now you are looking at the pressure in the volume of the system. Now, unit cell shape can also change. So, system can switch between crystal structures. Method is very useful to study the transition between crystal structure, which we sometimes call martensitic phase transition. And dynamics is if you look at unrealistic, because just because a system can fluctuate from one structure to another does not mean that probability is high of it to happen. So, what we are trying to do in this case, dynamics, we are forcing that dynamics by this the vector of 3 sides, so that it can move from one structure to another, but under the potential forces that are applicable to that. So, if you look at in this case the 3D flexible cell, we have to consider implementation in our code. we have to internal coordinate s greater than 0 and less than 1. So, if you look at that, then you can also look at the physical coordinate r. So, in this case r, let us say the length of the box multiplied by internal coordinate s. So, now L is a 3 by 3 matrix, symmetric matrix, which will have a time dependence and no periodic boundary condition with S, because we are looking at internal coordinates, and calculate energy and forces with R. So, R is the again the change in the physical coordinate of the particles. Now, this is the system which is now changing the length of the cell, and it can change in x, y and z direction. That is why it is 3 by 3 matrix. It is a tensor which you are now going to change with respect to time. So, if you look at that situation, now we have modified equation of motion. Omega is the response or mass of the surrounding medium. So, if you look at F is equal to m a plus force from boundaries. So, we are looking at this term where this is acceleration due to each particle, but also there is force due to boundaries, which is now in this case is the box changing its boundaries or its walls, and that is where you can see dpi over dt, change in instantaneous pressure is equal to force Fi minus the term which is calculating the changes in the volume of the box. And with that, we can also look at the feedback loop box size in equilibrium. So, now omega is the response function or the mass of the system. Then if you look at that mass, which changes second order differential with time. So, this is the acceleration of the walls with respect to the mass m v square m multiplied by a, which is the acceleration of the wall. And if you look at that, then we look at the pi function, which is the stress tensor minus the pressure. So, we are looking at the overall stress tensor, and we are looking at the pressure tensor over the volume changes. And in this case, the stress tensor can be defined in terms of the Ri, which is the vector of that particular particle, Fi the force multiplied by the vector distance, plus my vi, which is essentially the momentum, which is mass multiplied by velocity. So, you are looking at these two effects that gives you stress tensor, which is the pressure or the stress in the system, and the new distribution for this ensemble becomes again a p term, which is coming out of the feedback loop of the size exponential of minus beta h plus p pressure over the volume, and then the last term is the inertial term. So, with this kind of distribution function, now we have created a different ensemble in statistical mechanical way. So, now this is called isobaric isothermal ensemble, and in this case we can change the pressure. And this was first time done by Parnillo Rahman, and that is an important paper that you should read, where they look at potassium chloride ions of 500 ions at 300 degrees K. First pressure is 0, then pressure is 44 kilobar, and system spontaneously changes from rock salt to CSCl structure, which is what we are looking at here. As you change the pressure on the top, you can see the changes in the system. So, you are looking at the time, and you are looking at the density at the bottom. So, it was at certain density at a certain point, change the density completely, that is the indicative of the changes in the structure. So, you start with the metastable state, then you become cesium chloride, and the cesium chloride structure is stabilized, and then it converts into rock salt. So, this is the kind of system change that you are looking at. Rock salt has particular face centered structure. Now, as it moves through the changes, then it is now changed into a different structure as a cesium chloride. If you look at MD calculation, now you can calculate the changes in the structure of the material using the constant pressure, constant temperature process. So, it is isobaric system. So, what we are looking into this situation, we can automatically find a new crystal structure. That is a very nice thing to happen, especially given the flexible boundary condition. So, if you give the boundary condition as flexible, system will look at its potential energy, come down to a stable structure, which is what we call is automatically we are getting to the equilibrium structure of the material. but we do not have a situation here that it guarantees that it will come back to the new situation or new structure. It depends on how we are shaking the system to find the local minima, and that is an important factor in order to look at that the pressure can be wrong in terms of different structural parameter or structure you get to. So, you have to be extremely careful in this isobaric ensemble to make sure that you have equilibrated the system, it goes to metastable state, and the pressure of the walls is correctly done. So, that you can get to the right kind of transitions. And if you look at all these methods are in a way non-physical, because in physics it takes a lot of pressure and changes to go through this martensitic transition. However, we are kind of forcing it in a simulated way to get to those states, and if you look at these effects can have a understanding, with the understanding that these are non-physical situation. We are trying to go from one phase to another phase, and we can observe some of these transition, but we need to understand that in the real time frame it will probably take much larger pressure or much lower pressure and much longer time steps in order for these changes to happen. So, let me also refer you to two important papers, one by H. C. Henderson, which is also about constant pressure systems, which came out in 1980, and another one is Journal of Applied Physics by Parnillo Rahman, which is a seminal paper that you must read in terms of when you talk about the martensitic transitions or under constant pressure and constant thermal situation, which is what we call the isobaric ensemble. So, with that understanding, let me stop here, and we are now going to look at a very simple VMDL and conclude this section. Thank you.